Lacoste is a huge name in the fashion industry today. What many don't know is that the venture started off by creating the famous tennis uniform that we use even today. But what is the intriguing story behind the brand and its crocodile logo? Let's find out. Let's start from the beginning. On the 2nd of July, 1904, French tennis player René Lacoste was born in Paris to Jeanne-Marie Magdeleine Larrieu-Let and Jean-Jules Lacoste. He belonged to an upper-class family and was born with quite a lot of privileges. When he was 15 years of age, he showed an immense interest in tennis and wanted to pursue that as a career. His father was not very satisfied with this, as he knew that his son did not play well. So René's father told his son that he could pursue the sport as a career if, in the next 5 years, he could play internationally and become a world champion. René took this challenge quite seriously and practiced intensely for 3 good years. After those years of practice, he finally entered the Wimbledon Championship Grand Slam tournament in 1922, and this was his first international tennis competition. The pressure on him, especially from his father, was way too much, so he lost in the first round. Next, he participated in a competition in the USA against Irish tennis player Cecil Campbell, and he lasted till the 4th round. He got better in time, and in 1923 he played alongside Jean Varotra, Jacques Bronan, and Enrico Schia as the Davis Cup team, and the fans nicknamed them the Four Musketeers. In 1925 he reached the finals of Wimbledon, but sadly lost to Jean Varotra. This motivated him to work even harder and led him to win the French championship title that very same year. The next year he battled against Jean Varotra again and won the final, but the year after he lost the title to Enrico Schia. Next, he competed at the US National Championship in 1926 and won against Jean Varotra in the final match of his tournament. This secured him the title of #1 tennis player in 1926 by the Daily Telegraph. Moreover, René had a unique style of playing the game where he usually hung around at the back of the court and slithered around just like a crocodile. In 1926, René and his team lost the Davis Cup, but René acquired himself a new nickname. The American journalists were so fascinated by his way of playing that they nicknamed him the Crocodile. This nickname caught up real quick. The following year, everyone in France was calling him the Crocodile after he defeated Bill Tilden in one of the 3 matches they played. The Davis Cup team had a crucial match the same year, and the captain promised René a crocodile skin suitcase if the team won. Well, René played exceptionally well, and he got the bag. Furthermore, Robert George designed a signature crocodile logo on René's blazer, and he wore it to every match as it skyrocketed his confidence. While playing tennis, he realized that a half-sleeve uniform would be better than the button-down shirt all the players wore. So René partnered up with the owner of the most prominent French knitwear manufacturing firm, André Giller, and started manufacturing tennis shirts with the crocodile logo. This eventually became a business, and it was registered by the name La Société Chimiste Lacoste in 1933. And this was just a year after he retired in 1932. René was the brand ambassador of this company. The brand went international, but when it reached the US, they weren't allowed to sell it there due to the different legal procedures they had from what was followed in France. So in 1959, Lacoste partnered up with Izod and started selling sportswear as a collaboration. For those of you who have not heard of Izod, well, they started off with the name Izod of London, and before the partnership, they were not as famous as they were after it. An executive from the clothing company, David Crystal Inc., had come from the United States to London and was quite intrigued with the name Izod. He purchased the rights to the name Izod, so the company launched the brand Izod in the United States in 1937. David Crystal Inc. was later renamed Crystal Brands Inc. In fact, to make the Izod Lacoste apparel famous, a smart marketing strategy of selling them to celebrities was sought. Some of the famous people to whom the apparel was sold include Dwight D. Eisenhower, Bing Crosby, Daniel Platt, and John F. Kennedy. The partnership Lacoste had with Izod came with a lot of positive changes. The clothing also came in different colors as opposed to the previously only white t-shirts that were being sold. This intrigued people to buy and invest in the brand more. By 1970, Lacoste became one of the most selling clothing brands in the USA. Back to René and his sports career. René was doing quite well career-wise, and his brand was doing exceptionally well. But even athletes have to retire eventually. René retired from tennis in 1932. Though he couldn't play tennis henceforth, he dedicated his life to making the sport even better by introducing accessories and equipment that could enable tennis players to play better. After his retirement, he was heavily involved in this business and wanted to take his brand to the next level. He continued to design innovative sports goods, including a steel racket, which Jimmy Connors used. But then René got old and could no longer efficiently manage the business. So he handed over the business to his son, Bernard Lacoste, in 1964, and he ran it pretty well. Izod Lacoste made pretty trendy clothes until the preppy trend slowly faded in the 1980s. The brand was overexposed, and the market was booming with knockoff replicas. Crystal Brands Inc., which owned Izod, was trying to regain its elite status by expanding its company sales. It worked for a while but then failed as they were left to drown in heavy debts caused due to poor investments in other brands such as Salty Dog and Gant. To make things worse, their marketing license was also ended in the mid-1990s, after which the company faced massive financial turmoil. Crystal Brands Inc. went bankrupt, and they eventually had to split the companies and sell Izod to one buyer and return Lacoste to the company. Their partnership was terminated, and Lacoste could sell under its own brand. Lacoste continued to perform fairly well, but then René passed away on the 12th of October 1996 at 92. After he died, a lot of changes were brought about. For instance, in 2000, the creative director Gil Rosier was replaced by Christophe Lemaire, who turned the company from a sports brand to a luxury fashion brand. He diversified the brand by bringing in watches, lingerie, leather goods, and more. Diversification was quite a major step Lacoste took as a brand, as plenty of risks came with such a decision. But the creative director executed his plans well and ensured that great marketing tactics were used to accompany his diversification strategies. Following this, they managed to struggle for a while before they were once again a prominent brand in the market. Unfortunately, Lacoste faced sad news a few years later when Bernard passed away on the 21st of March 2006. Bernard was not just their leader, but he treated everyone like family. This loss was quite hard to take, and everyone mourned the loss of their beloved leader. The company was then left in the hands of Michael Lacoste, Bernard's younger brother. Michael was involved with the company for many years, and he knew how to run it. Michael's way of thinking was quite different compared to his brother's. Michael brought many changes to the company and began licensing its trademark to other companies. This came with its fair share of pros and cons. One of the companies that Lacoste was licensed to is Devanlay SA. They helped change the company and even introduced an e-commerce site in 2007 to help promote the brand. Having an e-commerce site back then gave the company a competitive advantage and made it stand out. The company also got quite a few brand ambassadors and influencers on board, the most recent being Novak Djokovic. Influencer marketing is quite a big deal, especially in today's times, and integrating the latest trends in marketing with the company was a brilliant move. Speaking of Novak Djokovic, he is one of the greatest tennis players today. He's been called the new crocodile, and it's safe to say that the crocodile speaks for the brand. The crocodile represents passion and determination, and that if anyone wants to do anything in their life, it's not impossible. Lacoste is not just an apparel brand, but a brand that started off with passion and determination. Whenever anyone wears their apparel, it's not just an elite apparel brand, but has an entire legacy behind it. That's all for now, guys. We hope you enjoyed the video. Do let us know your views in the comment section. We will see you soon, so hit the subscribe button and that bell icon, and do check out our channel for more fantastic content.